Hello and welcome to this new topic that I decided for some reason to talk about. And as you guessed from the video title, this one will be spread in two different parts. And the one that I'm going to cover today will be just about the bandits area. Now, before I get into the actual video, I want to make clear a few things. So, to start off, I'm a level 59 ranger, so the experience that I'm going to show is from the perspective of a level 59 player. So, level 58 players will get more experience and level 60 players will get less experience. And for the second part, where I will cover the pirates area, I will also be level 59. Another thing to say is that my AP is quite high, so I have 200 awakening AP and I'm killing the monsters pretty fast, and you will see that later in the video. And I want to say that there are other people, or most people, who will kill these monsters slower, but I'm going to make the pirates video just like this one, so I will be killing them just as fast, or maybe even faster since they are lower level. And also, since this video is mainly focusing on how much experience I can get at bandits, then I am killing the monsters as fast as possible. And I am not looting anything from the ground manually. The only loot that I get is from my pets. So I just kill the monsters as fast as possible, then I move to the next group, kill them and move on. So basically I have a lot of AP, I kill the monsters pretty fast and I don't loot anything from the ground. Now, before moving forward, a few more things to say are that, first off, there are ways to get more experience than the one that I'm showing, because for these two videos the only experience buffs that I have are first the weekend event, that 100% extra experience, 10% experience from my costume, and another 8% experience from milk tea. So there are other experience buffs out there that can stack with these and in the end give you even more experience, but I'm not going to be using those. So now that this all has been said, for this video I did cover 5 different rotations at the bandits area, and next up I will have shown on the screen a map, and I did try to somehow draw the rotations on the map to give people some idea about where the place should be. So with this all being said, let's move to the first rotation. So the two screenshots that you just saw on the screen are the starting point and the ending point of the first rotation, and if you want you can pause the video and return to them, but I will have on this video that I'm showing right now shown the important parts of those screenshots. And to talk about this part of the video, what you see on the screen right now is the first rotation, and this is basically recorded after I finished that run, and I tried to replicate as best as possible how I was farming in that 1 hour interval, to not only show you guys the rotation but also the speed at which I was clearing the mobs. Now, for this rotation I did grind here exactly 68 minutes, as you can see from the screenshots, and my experience gain in these 68 minutes was 1.425%. So that would basically put this rotation at around 0.021544% experience per minute. So basically around 0.0215% experience each minute, considering that I would grind consistently without stopping. Now, in this rotation there are a total of 4 elite monsters, and in these 68 minutes I did get to kill all those elite monsters, and I don't know exactly how much time I spent per elite monster, but I would say probably around 40 seconds to 1 minute per each elite monster. And anyone who is doing this rotation, I am sure that they will also hunt those elite monsters if they are spawned. Now, this rotation is basically right inside the main spot, and that means that if you want to grind here you pretty much have to get lucky to find it empty, because since it is the main spot, it is the place where you are most likely going to find people grinding. So probably this place is the one with the highest PK rate. Also, another thing about this rotation is that compared to the other 4, I believe this one has the most mobs. So this one has the highest density of monsters, and we will see later on this video if this rotation is actually the one with the most experience or not, and if the difference is that high compared to the other ones. So I got 1 more minute before this rotation is over, and I almost forgot to say the experience per hour on this spot, and that would be, if you get that 0.021544 and you multiply it by 60, you are going to get 1.292 experience per hour in this spot, and this is just raw experience, considering that you will grind here 1 hour without stopping for repairs or potions or anything else. So if this wasn't long enough, a few seconds of silence before the rotation is over, and then we can move forward. So this is the second rotation, with the first screenshot being the starting point and the second one the ending point of the rotation. And as you can see on this one, I only got to do 56 minutes, so it's less time grinded, but in the end this doesn't exactly matter, since as long as I get to do the rotation more than once, this is already enough time to get an accurate data. Now this rotation isn't exactly that different from the first one, because it's also on the main spot. The only difference is that on this one I'm actually taking the bridge rotation. So the main difference would be that on this rotation I can get to kill all the 6 elites on this spot. So compared to the first rotation, this one has 6 elite monsters that you can kill, and again I got to kill all 6 of them. So if you want the rotation with the most elite monsters, this would be the one to do. Now to start talking about the experience, on this rotation I got a total of 1.180 experience in 56 minutes, so that would put this one at around 0.021071% experience per each minute, so it isn't that much of a difference compared to the first rotation. And I would say the main difference is that on the first rotation I only killed 4 elite monsters, and on this one I killed 6 elite monsters, so those about 2 minutes that it took me to kill 2 more elite monsters might have been the difference on that little bit of experience that you lose on this spot. So again, if you take this number and you multiply it by 60, you're going to get 1.264% experience per hour. Now I have no idea what else to say about this rotation to fill up that time before the video is completed, so to talk a bit about this off topic, if you want to grind here and you want to loot the drops yourself, of course you're going to get less experience since you're going to kill slower, but at least you're going to get the full income of money that I showed in previous videos. And on this video, of course, I only did let my pets to loot. I didn't loot anything myself. So if you're going to grind here only for the experience, don't expect to get that much money. So 50 more seconds, and I just remembered something that I just said and it was wrong. This rotation doesn't have 6 elite monsters, it only has 5 of them, since I'm skipping one of them since it would make the rotation too big. But I did still kill 6 elite monsters, so I suppose one of them respawned in those 56 minutes and I killed it twice. So in the end this rotation has 5 elite monsters and I killed 6 in total. Now maybe I should record that part again and say 5 elite monsters, but since I do need to fill that time with something and that something has nothing else to say, well, I guess it will just stay. So moving on to the third rotation, this one is finally out of the main spot. So this rotation is, as you are walking from Shakatu to the node manager, this is the first place you're going to see. It's, I don't know how it is called, but I would say it's the crossroads rotation. Now, compared to the other ones, this one has only 3 elite monsters and it is a smaller rotation. And for me that is a problem. Because on the time that I grinded here, since I'm killing the monsters pretty fast, if I just waltz through all of the mobs and I kill them really fast without messing up some combos, I end up coming back to the beginning of the rotation and the first group isn't fully respawned yet. And that could be a problem, especially for those who might be able to grind faster than I am. And I am not exactly sure if you can extend this rotation any more than I already did. But there are also some good news about this rotation. So to talk about the experience here, as you can see, since I was pretty disappointed about the mob respawn time, I didn't grind here for more than 21 minutes. So anyway, I can complete this rotation in about maybe 3 minutes, so even 21 minutes it's still enough to get the data required to make the experience income, since I am doing the rotation more than once. Now, even though here are 3 elite monsters that can spawn, when I grinded here in those 21 minutes, none of them were alive, so I killed 0 elite monsters on this rotation. Now, from those 2 screenshots you can see that in 21 minutes I got 0.473% experience. So that would make 0.022523 experience in 1 minute. And again, if you multiply that by 60, you're going to get 1.351% experience in 1 hour. So compared to the other 2 rotations, this one actually, to my surprise, gave me more experience than the other rotations with more mobs. Now, part of that might be the fact that I killed no elite monsters, so I didn't exactly waste time killing elite monsters, or the fact that here groups seem to be a bit more compressed or just more dense, I suppose. In the end, there will be just a few people who will do what I just did, basically grind without looting anything. So for anyone who is grinding here, and of course they are looting from the ground, then this rotation will be more than enough, because they are not going to run out of mobs before they respawn. So the fourth run. This one is somewhat close to the villa, I suppose. This one also includes a part of the main spot, but it's that part that people usually don't do. And you will see that on the video that's playing on the background. But basically this rotation has a total of, again, 3 elite monsters that you can kill if you want to, or maybe only 2 elite monsters if you do the rotation without that big pack that is in the center. Now this rotation is a little bit odd because it has all the packs quite spread from one another on half of the rotation. So if you're not a class that can dash pretty fast from one group to another, it's not exactly that good. And as you will see next up, it's basically not a good rotation at all. Now I grinded here a total of 38 minutes, and in this time I got a total of 0.730 experience. So that would put this rotation at 0.019210. Yeah, a lot of digits, you can just see them on the screen, it's easier, but compared to the other 3, this rotation finally gives less experience. And if you multiply that number by 60, you're going to get 1.152% experience per hour if you're going to do this rotation. And even though this one has 3 elite monsters that you can kill, again, I only got to kill 1 of them. So if you look at it like this, I only killed 1 elite monster and I got 0.019 experience. in basically 1 minute. And in the first rotation I killed 6 elite monsters, so 6 times that number, and I got 0.022 experience. So I killed more elite monsters and still I got more experience compared to this rotation. Now the only advantage of this rotation is that maybe because it's out of the main spot, you're not going to get PK'd so often, so it's probably a safe spot to grind, maybe, but other than that I don't see any point to do this rotation. And again, I actually meant to say 6 elites from the second rotation, not the first one, but my point is the same. This one doesn't have as much experience compared to the first 3. And again, until this rotation is over, a little bit of silence and I will let you stare at the digits and whatever else is on the screen right now. And now for the 5th rotation on my list. This one is again out of the main spot, and it's completely out of the main spot, and it's the one that's closest to the villa. Now I don't know if this one is the exact spot that people say it is the one near villa, but I suppose this one works. And again, I tested this one and I would say the mobs are enough if you're going to do the rotation at least as fast as me or slower than me, because usually when I was completing the rotation the first group was already spawned or it was 1 or 2 seconds away from being fully respawned. So I would say it's the same problem as the 3rd rotation, with the mobs probably being not enough. Now another problem with this spot is that this one has literally no elite monsters at all. So on this rotation no elite monsters will spawn, so you don't have any chance to kill them. And from the money point, this is actually a problem because you're going to get less money, but again, if you're only coming here for the experience, and for the purpose of this video I'm talking about experience, it should be enough. Now to actually talk about that experience, I did this rotation for a total of 27 minutes. And in this time I got 0.519 experience. So again, this puts this rotation at 0.019222 experience, and as you can see it is pretty close to the 4th rotation. I would say it's probably about the same. And if you multiply that number by 60, you're going to get 1.153% experience in 1 hour. So in the end it's about the same experience as the 4th rotation, but in this one you have no elite monsters at all compared to the 4th one, which at least has 3 that you can kill if they are spawned. So as a result I killed 0 elite monsters on this rotation. Now, I guess that's about it. I don't know if there's anything else that I could say about this place, but there is one thing that I forgot to put on the beginning of the video, and that is all of these rotations are done on the daytime. So again, you can get more experience if you're going to grind here at night time when experience is increased. But for the purpose of this video, I did all the rotations when it was daytime. And I will most likely put this as a text on the beginning of the video, so I will look stupid now that I'm saying the same thing at the ending of the video. Anyway, now that you have an idea about how much experience you could make if you don't loot anything, basically if you are just going to get the maximum experience possible at Bandits, this is the result you should be getting, especially if you're a ranger like myself with a similar gear level. So I would say since the first 3 rotations are about the same experience, when if you're going to come here to grind, don't just go for the main spots, because you can just as well do the crossroads rotation and get about the same, if not the same experience as you would get on the main spot, because in my test it did turn out to be more experience, but again I killed less elite monsters, so that could be also the thing that makes that a little bit of a difference. Now I will try next weekend to do the exact same thing with pirates to see if the experience there is better or if it is worse, and maybe convince some people, if this place turns out to be better, to stop going to pirates and be like pirates is the best, when maybe bandits might give more experience. Now I don't know if that is true, because again I didn't test pirates yet, but next week or maybe in 2 weeks, if I can't do this the next weekend, I will see for sure which place is better. So I guess this is about the end of the video. It's already a pretty long video, so thanks to everyone who watched it up to this point, and I will see you guys next time on the next video.